Welcome back to Real Family, Real Health. Today we will be talking about brain mapping and neurofeedback. I will have Jeff talk about the definitions that we'll be going over. The reason why I say that is the next several videos we'll be talking about Declan's experience and what his brain maps and neurofeedback sessions look like. And we figured that analogy would be a good theme throughout the next video series. So I'm just going to throw it to Jeff and he can just break down the definitions for us.
All right, well, imagine your brain is like a car. Sometimes it runs smoothly. Other times the engine revs too high. Maybe the brakes don't kick in or even the alignment's off, So brain mapping and neurofeedback are kind of the tools that help you tune up your brain, so it drives the way it's meant to. So let's take a little bit of a look at those kind of step by step. So the first one, right?
Ooh, baby. Sorry.
The first one is brain mapping. We've talked a bit about it a little bit. And brain mapping, from a car analogy standpoint, would be like plugging your car into one of those diagnostic scanners. It tells you what code you're getting. The sensors kind of measure your brain waves and show us how the engine's running, if you will. We can see if certain parts of your brain are working in maybe overdrive or if others are lagging behind. And just like those scanners tells you whether it's the transmission or the brakes or engine that needs attention, brain mapping gives us a readout of your brain's performance, so we know exactly what to work on.
Pretty cool.
Yep. So then the next one is just the neurofeedback. So once we've read the diagnostic, once we've got figured out exactly what it is that we need to tune up, neurofeedback is the actual tune-up. The sensors give your brain real-time feedback like a dashboard light, that changes as you adjust. When your brain shifts into a healthier pattern, it gets rewarded, almost like the check engine light finally going off. So with practice, our brain learns how to keep itself in that better state. Just like a car that's been serviced, it runs more smoothly and uses less effort to stay on the road.
And I'm just going to chime in right quick right here. There's different protocols that they use based on your brain mapping. And the first one that they decided to use with Declan was the sleep protocol. So we're just going to tie that into the car analogy.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, so, the neurofeedback for sleep, or the sleep protocol, one of the most common reasons people come in to get brain mapping is for sleep issues. So think about trying to drive a car when the engine is stuck, revving, at high speeds. You can't really slow down, and it's exhausting. And that's what kind of happens with your brain when it can't shift gears at night. With the sleep protocol, you train a specific brain rhythm called the sensory motor rhythm, or call it the SMR. And you can think of the SMR as your car's like cruise control. It helps the system settle into a smooth, steady pace. At the same time, we quiet down the racing gears so your brain isn't stuck in overdrive. And then the result is your brain learns how to downshift naturally, so you can fall asleep faster, wake up less often, and feel more restored in the morning.
Feels amazing.
Right.
So I guess we'll just tie it up in closing.
Yeah, so brain mapping is the diagnostic scan, neurofeedback is the tune-up, and the sleep protocol is your brain just learning how to downshift into cruise control. And with practice, your brain learns to run smoothly because it's trainable.
So if you like, or you found this breakdown helpful, please give this video a like, subscribe for more parent-friendly insights into brain mapping, sleep, and after the sleep, we will go into the next protocol that Declan got to experience. So drop some comments below and follow for the next series as we tap into the sleep protocol, nutrition, vitamins, and be sure to like us, follow us. See you next time.